Hey, how about that? First ever Campfire Conversations.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
A long time coming. Long time coming.
I'm hoping that the audio's working. I'm hoping that people can see us. I'm hoping that, and I have no idea.
Tanner, are we good on audio? Can you hear us?
Yeah, we have a producer. That's how.
Yes.
That's how.
We're already leaps and bounds ahead of most.
We're just going to call him Jamie for now.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah.
Pull that video up, please.
I'm Todd. This is Rick Graybill with Foxco Fabrication. Appreciate you coming out here, bro.
Yeah,
by the way,
thanks
we are at where are we? Hitchcock.
Yeah,
we're at Hitchcock Nature
location in Mexico.
We're in the tent area at the Hitchcock Nature Center. The address is Honey Creek, but is Honey Creek even a town?
Barely.
Okay, because I don't know.
They got a bar and a couple houses.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Airplane Inn, I think. I've never been to it. I'm sure it's a great place, but I've never always busy.
Yeah. This is a great spot. It's a great place to come camp, but it's a hike.
Oh yeah.
Because you have to bring everything down a hill to get over here, and it can be a little bit of strenuous.
Yeah,
especially for guys out of shape like me.
Yeah, and me. I only had a backpack, and I was sweating when I got down to the bottom of the hill. I can't imagine hiking out.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see much of the tent or not, but this thing is not light. And I've got a big full-size bed in there. It's a cot with air mattress, and that's not light. And I've got the awning that the camera's sitting under right now. Everything just weighs a lot.
You're going to be ripped by the end of summer.
Not eating the way that we're eating here.
That is true. That is true.
Good brats, but
oh yeah, those are amazing. I like those a lot.
Well, I know a little bit about what it is that you do at Foxco Fabrication, but because I've got some stuff from you, the metal etching and different things like that, but that's really not the bulk of. I mean, your moneymaker's not metal etching, correct?
It's metal.
It's metal, yeah. But I mean, as far as the etching goes, that's not where the bulk of your business is.
No, I'd have to make so many cups in order to cover one welding job.
Right.
You know, so no, our bread and butter is definitely the welding, and that's how it all started. It was just supposed to be welding out of my garage, and then my buddy called and said, "I got to line up on a shop," and that's how it all exploded.
Right.
And it wasn't overnight by any means. You know, we kind of sat in our crap for a year and nobody was interested. But I think that is kind of the nature of business. Leading up to it, and you know, the handful of people I did tell, "Oh yeah, I'll get you this, and I got this, and you know, we're good to go." And crickets, man. The day that LLC came into place, you know, it was crickets. And but I think you need that. I think that is how you get to any amount of success is just sitting in your shit sometimes.
I've done it.
So
I'm doing it.
Yeah. You're fine. You're fine. No, but I think that journey is important, you know, and then it's the small victories along the way.
That's true.
They mean so much more. You know, it could be the smallest thing, but you're like, even one customer, you know, the first one, you're just like, yeah. But there are times, you know, you're feeling lost and just, man, I'm never going to get back.
Yeah, I was, had everything rolling, and then I let somebody talk me into doing something, and afterwards, you know, and you can look back on life and you can see everything really clearly that you don't see at the time.
Sure.
And, you know, what jumps out at me is, why would I stop working on my own dream to go work on someone else's? Yeah. Which is what I did.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's not the reason that, you know, I'm being kind of cryptic here, because if people
understandable
actually know what the situation is.
Because the peanut gallery.
Yeah. Anyway, you know, and also this thing that we're doing here tonight, this actually was someone else's idea, if I'm giving full disclosure here.
Sure.
I was out on a date, and I was explaining to her what I did, and she said, you know, I've always had this idea to do a podcast next to a campfire. You know, because, you know, and I was thinking about it. I said, you know, that's a pretty good idea. You should do it. Well, I never got a second date with her. So guess what? Guess what we're doing?
A different part of the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's going to do. That's what it's going to. It's delayed. Yeah. So, but you're hearing us okay though?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
That's... You just seeing the hand gestures a minute late.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah. Just checking in with the producer. Hey, it works for Rogan.
Yeah.
You know, he's constantly saying, "Hey, Jamie, look that up. Yeah. No, slow that down. Yeah. No, play that back again." And especially if you're on the audio podcast, listening to him, and he's playing all this video stuff. I don't have a clue what he's doing.
Yeah, that is tough. That's why I don't like the audio side of it. Like, I'll sit down, I ain't gonna watch the 3-hour one. Like,
no,
it's got to be somebody I'm really interested in before I.
Well, and I've got another podcast starting called After Radio, and I announced that on Facebook, and you wouldn't believe the response. I mean, so many people wanted to be on because a lot of folks had gotten out, and either by choice or someone else's choice.
Sure.
And I met a guy in Detroit that is doing exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, no kidding.
I mean, exactly what I'm doing. And now his studio's out of his house. Mine is now in Des Moines because of certain non-competes. But that will change once the non-compete's over with. Yeah. Then I can
come back local.
Yeah, I can come back to my home.
Yeah, we need you here. I always tell people, Todd, and not here kissing ass, but you're one of the biggest ambassadors for local business, and that passion. I think that's why everybody loves you so much.
Well, I'm grateful for that.
All these dreamers, and every single one of us, no matter what level you're at, it's just to have somebody like you in the corner of going, I've got this voice, I have this platform. And it was, then now, it doesn't matter where you're falling, you're still out there and you're pushing all of us. So that's really cool. And I can probably speak for everybody that we appreciate it.
Well, we'll kiss later, but because apparently I'm going to owe you one of those. But
you still got tonsils?
Nobody said this was safe for work. I'm not on the radio anymore, so
that's what makes it fun too. Is you're not regulated by. Well, I mean, Zuckerberg might be having a meltdown right now.
He doesn't care.
I can offend him, I bet.
I know for a fact that you could get this shut down.
I could get some color. I could get some color into that white body of his.
But the idea behind the podcast was exactly this. I mean, when you're sitting next to a fire, you are relaxed. Typically, I am anyway.
Yeah.
And, fortunately, the wind is out of the right direction, that the smoke's not blowing at us, which is rare for me. I mean, that's typically...
it's going to turn on us.
It's going to turn at a second.
Here we go.
Look at this. Yeah, that's coming right back at us. But I know that I get out here and do this as much as I can, and this feeds my soul. I'm outside. I'm listening to birds.
Well, in the background of the kids playing.
Yeah, there's kids playing down the hill. And, I was out here actually in this exact same spot over Memorial weekend.
Yeah, I remember. Because, when the storms were rolling.
Right. And some good friends of mine, and hi, Vivian. And she's...
I know Vivian.
Yeah, you know Vivian too.
Yep.
And she and her husband, and they're taking care of some boys. They were up in the camper park camping. And she said, hey, we're going to be lighting the fire if you want to come up a little bit later. And I said, no problem. I'd love to. And she said, but by the way, just be ready for about 1,000 why questions. And I said, I can't think of a better question to answer.
Oh, yeah.
When you got a young person that's just saying why all the time, that doesn't bug me.
Yep.
Because that innocence and curiosity, they're going to lose it. So let's feed it.
Well, you're an absolute. Yeah, he's on the radio. You're a celebrity in their eyes. You're major. You know what I mean? Being a kid.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, I think the older we get, we lose touch with that and how cool things are. But that's what's nice about kids. They're so pure in their intent and just like, oh my God, you're on the radio. They never in a million years.
It wasn't long last year after we got going. We were out at a fundraiser and music show. And this young man asked me and Peggy to autograph his shirt.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, okay, I'll give you my autograph, but I got to have yours.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because that's a better collection.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That hasn't happened to me a lot, and I'm grateful, very, very grateful.
Sure.
When that kind of thing happens, it's not an ego thing with me, and it's rare. So
yeah, the only time people ask me for my autographs is to pay invoices and write checks. So,
well,
you're in a way better spot than me.
What got you into doing the metal etching on the cups and stuff? I mean, is that one that you got there?
Yeah, the Johnny Cash one. The one I can't sell because I'm not trying to get another cease and desist.
Oh, yeah, that would be a violation.
But I can make myself whatever, so I'm told. No, it was all just a kind of a slurry of things. It was just, like I said, meant to be welding. And I remember my dad, we were at his house, and we're in the kitchen, and he goes, what the hell? Yeah, he's a really wise businessman.
Right.
My dad, both my parents, very intelligent, and he, what else are you gonna do? That doesn't seem like a good business plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Dad, everybody needs something welded. There's no shortage. I could make 20 phone calls and I'll have 19 welding jobs booked. And all right. So we go outside and we're smoking together. He goes, I was just thinking, my riding lawnmower, the deck, there's an arm that broke off. Could you just take it down to the shop and weld it? And I was like, see?
Yeah.
Right there. Right. But he's just watching out for me. But when welding was slow, and it wasn't, because to support it, the size of job you got to book, or one that you want to book, there's something in between. So we had one, I had to make gussets for it. I was like, man, if we got a small plasma table, instead of hand cutting all these, it's just pinpoint on what it does. And there was one preset program that was assigned, and it was the cowboy, the Wyoming license plate, essentially, the cowboy riding the horse or whatever. And it did that. I was like, oh shit, well, we can make signs. We can just have fun with that. So we made some fun ones, and then it was,
I've got a couple on my mantle.
Yeah. And then it was just, okay, well, what can we do in the meantime between, you can only make so many signs, and then you got to do something with them. And a big problem me and Chris had was our signs would be, hey, where'd you get that? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. That's someplace in Council Bluffs.
You wouldn't even tell
them. Yeah, they wouldn't remember.
Okay.
Or by the time, we're hoping, in 5 years, where'd you get that? And you just some guy. And so we were going to laser engrave the name and brand it on the back. And then that turned into, all we do is metal. We can't have paper business cards.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, why don't we make cups? So when customers come in, here, take this with you. And then it just kind of,
one thing grows into the next.
Yeah.
And you just keep walking through whatever door happens to be there and see what's on the other side of it.
100%.
Yeah.
And a fun thing too is depending on what spot I'm walking in, like, oh, the welding guy's here, or hey, the laser guy's here, or hey, the cup guy. So yeah, you wear a lot of hats.
Well, I'd also appreciate that you make sure that you regulate yourself and you say, look, I know what I want to do and I know what I'm good at, and I'm not going to veer off of that. I mean, you're not going to take some large production job and make 2,000 cups for some company for them to be able to go on. That's not going to happen.
Nope. But I can also, and the way that started too was if we do 25 of something, just welding, I can show you the difference in the first one and the 25th one. And I can show you as your heart kind of comes out of it and you're droning. You're just, and I don't even care by this point. So it's, we make sure it's something we can stay passionate about. But that's why you get such good product out of us, is we're not saying to everybody. But I think that's important, and stayed true to that. And we didn't take out any bank loans to get here. It was, we don't owe anybody money. So yeah, if we don't work for 3 months, which has yet to happen, we're always doing something.
Right.
But yeah, we're not under the gun to pay a bill. So I think that definitely separates us. And there's nothing wrong with the other way of doing it. I wasn't about that.
And that's staying in your lane with what you know.
Yep.
And that's, I think, an important part of all of this, that people can start traveling down a road that they're not familiar with and just kind of get lost in the weeds. And you don't do that. And that's something I've always respected about you ever since we met. And that's why, when the whole radio thing ended for me, I wasn't going to stop doing what I was doing. I wasn't going to quit being an ambassador for the town and doing what I can do from my side in order to promote, the local people.
Yep.
You and I both live in Council Bluffs. We deal with some reputation, I guess you can say, of the town that sure, part of it's true, but it's true everywhere.
Yeah.
And I prefer to highlight the positive stuff.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that I'm saying that the negative doesn't exist. I'm just saying there's a lot more positive that people are paying attention to.
100%. You got to lean into that. There's bad everywhere you go. It's no different here than what you're seeing in, LA or anywhere else. We have that side too, but lean into the good. And I think as long as we all play our part and try to put some good back out in the world, and not just, well, I did this, now you owe me this.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always have to be that.
Right.
It should never be that. Just put your best foot forward, be nice, tell us it's time to not be nice,
That's true. Like on the day after Thanksgiving, when it's time to not be nice.
Yeah.
And you and I are in opposite camps. Nebraska fan.
Yeah.
Well,
it's I root for both, but my parents are diehard fans.
Mm.
And the reason I don't fuck with my mom is I'm pretty sure she's from the Witness Protection Program, and I pray to God she's watching this right now. But whenever you get her worked up, she'll go, "Oh my God," like she's from Jersey,
right?
She said some wild stuff, but you can always get it at the Jersey accent, and you're like, she gets mad anytime I'm like, so what is Witness Protection Program like 40 years later? I'm not, it's like, you're hiding something, Cheryl. Oh my God, honey. And then
she yells at the TV during the games.
Yeah, she'll stomp. You hear wild stuff from both my parents. So it was really growing up. They've always been diehard fans. But yeah, you lose sleep. You're like, dude, I got school tomorrow. Yeah, they don't give a shit. But I root for them because it's like I know they're going to be in a good mood. Or they lose and it's like, well, I'll talk to them next week. I'll talk to them before the game. Right. I ain't calling right now.
Now's the wrong time. So, some people get really worked up about all of that. I'm an Iowa fan, and I love it when they win, and I hate it when they lose. But as hard as I have campaigned for it, Kirk Ferentz will not let me play. So it's not me. I'm not in it. And I've heard other people talk about it that like with Nebraska or Iowa, the entire team will be different every 4 years.
Oh yeah.
So what are we really rooting for? Laundry.
Yeah.
We're looking at laundry. It's a uniform, same color, and that's what it is. So, but I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, and it's always cool to see those kids, no matter who you're rooting for, and go make it big, in the NFL. A lot of them get lost.
Yeah. There's one kid that he's not a kid anymore. He's all grown up. But I was watching the NBA Finals, and I used to call his games in high school.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and everybody in our part of the world knows him. I mean, it's Kyle Korver, played for Creighton, and turned into one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. I'm watching him playing for Cleveland, and I'm like,
your head.
Man, I didn't see it. Look, he was a good player. He was one of the better players, but no, I never saw that.
That's cool though, to get to that point.
There's some weird noises out here.
Yeah, that's Jamie. Pull it up.
That's the.
You got access to the security cameras.
That's the tractor beam. I don't know if it's getting picked up. On
that's our peanut friends coming over.
You were talking about Zuckerberg. He's putting stuff on now.
Yeah, he's got drones. Yeah, he is. Sent the drones to get us.
So business is good this year? Everything going well?
Yep. Yeah, this has been a really good year for us. And we're constantly expanding and testing our limits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, I can't complain, man. I wish I could. Nobody listen.
Well,
I would if I could.
You don't ever seem to sleep because I get text messages from you at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we're talking at like 7:30 or 8.
Yeah, so does he.
When are you sleeping?
Yeah, during the day when everybody else is at their big boy jobs, I'll catch a couple hours here and there. But
oh, geez, I couldn't do that.
it's once I get laser focused on a project, I can't. My brain won't shut off until it's done, and then really until I hear back from the customer, like, oh my God, I loved it. You always pray, but then sometimes there's radio silence. So I'm walking around the house having a freaking panic attack. Like, okay, well, I saw UPS dropped it off. Where's my call? And so yeah, it's cool, but yeah, you don't get much sleep, and I've started to gray out pretty good. But I was just telling a lady at our local watering hole.
Which one? There's a lot around here.
Yeah, well, I'll keep that private.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I don't want anybody there like, hey, I saw you, or anything like that.
I get it.
I was like, yeah, man, I've aged out like a president in the Oval Office. And she goes, you are gray. I was like, I mean, I'm 41. I've earned them. Don't get me wrong.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
You
about?
have a lot more hair than me, though.
Yeah. I pulled my first gray out when I was 16.
Holy cow.
Yeah, on my first one when I was 16.
I was excited for it. Like, I embrace it 100%. I can't wait for it to all be gray. But it's like the mustache just stays dark for whatever reason.
And do this whole Kenny Rogers thing?
Could, yeah.
Do you get out and do camping much? Is this your thing, or do you just like being outside?
No. I love being outside. Camping, though, no, after I broke my back, I gotta have a pretty good bed to sleep on, and then both the knees being jacked up, broken ankle. I mean, you name it, I've broke it. So unfortunately, my camping days are pretty much behind me, unless it's in an RV.
Well, and I don't mind that. It would be easier setting up than the way that I'm doing it right now, but this is a little more portable.
Yeah.
I've got.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is 5-star tent right here.
Yeah, it's 16 feet across and pretty heavy canvas.
Yeah.
And people have asked me, well, doesn't that just take forever to set up? And I said, I've got it down to 20 minutes. And I'm not. I mean, yeah, it's work to get it up.
Oh, I bet.
But it's not. I'm not praying for death. It's you lay it out flat, stake all the way around to get the circle down, and then put the pole up in the middle, and then once that's up, just start running these lines down, and it's over with. That's it.
Yeah. Go over in the east wing.
Yeah.
That's where we have the shower set up. That thing's huge. I don't know if they can see it or not, but it's definitely impressive.
Yeah, I've got a stove for it. I mean, it's built to handle a wood burning stove, and I've got one. I've just never connected it. I've still got to get the right, I don't know what they call that clamp that goes on either side of the pipe.
Oh yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, I'm definitely not an expert at any of this.
Me either. Hey, if things go south, we might both be living in this.
Yeah, it's a possibility. This is my.
The nice thing is that's a good backup plan right there. That ain't bad.
I was down in Arizona last year, and down in the southwest Arizona, and it's free camping out there. Now, there's no utilities, there's no anything, but I'm thinking, if I just get that Starlink internet, and get a solar powered generator.
Do you know anybody who has that though?
Starlink, I've heard of somebody that
has
it,
but it's one of those things. Like, I didn't even believe Cybertrucks were real until he pointed one out the other day. I was like, wow, there's one. It's weird it's not flying down the road. There's something with the gas pedal.
Yeah. No, I've never used it, but I've heard that it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not getting a terabyte speed. I mean, it's about 100 down and 30 up or something like that. I think I saw. That's roughly what it is, which would be enough. I mean, it's not going to send things in lightning speed, but that would work.
Yeah, I've never known anybody. They were talking about it. And it was just like, yeah, I won't buy into something until somebody's like, nah, bought it, sucks. I'm out.
I forgot something over here. I went through all this trouble of bringing snacks, and I left it sitting over here.
Oh, nice.
See? Look at that.
Nice.
Nothing more healthy than mixed nuts. You know, you got your almonds and you got your peanuts, and there's lots of pecan right there. That's a walnut. We'll get rid of that. You know, and there's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing's tainted now. You might as well throw the whole thing in the fire.
No, we can sort through this because walnuts used to have a purpose, but I just don't really see the purpose anymore. And look at that; it is making the flame bigger.
I did hear something there. They're extremely explosive. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But yeah, they just they stink.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I'm not a big nut burner, but
no. Yeah, I'm going to hell now. But
yeah, well, I'm right behind you. We're preheating before we go.
Well, you had talked about the longer you do something of the same thing over and over again, you just kind of zone out and it starts to get worse. Yeah. My world's the opposite. You know, I have to do things over and over and work out the kinks and start to get better. Like with this, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but to continue on with, Campfire Conversations, this one's going to be the worst one. The first one always is.
That's why I was the guest.
So you'll have to come back after I don't suck quite so bad.
Yeah, or me. Yeah. Here's the 10 things you can't say.
Well, you can say anything that you want to say. It's just that, and if, such as on YouTube or on, Apple or even Spotify, that, if you don't say that there's explicit language in there, and there is, they can boot you off the platform. Yeah. So you just have to acknowledge it, and that's
just get it out of your system in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
George Carlin.
Seven words. Which, half of those you can say now. Yeah. So it's not what it used to be. But no, I'm limping along until we can get done with with that non-compete and I can get back local again. And once I do,
well, it's cool. You're already making leaps and bounds in the right direction, but it's for somebody with your skill, because you not only did radio, but then audiobooks, and you got that golden voice, man. You got your meal tickets right here, and some other people can say that for other reasons, but.
Well, I tell people, I tell people that have done, over 200 audiobooks. Oh, I would love to be able to do that. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You think you would.
Yeah. Then you are truly droning by the
right. Yes. Because you dive into these things and it's grueling work. It is just brutal in order to be able to get through this. Now, I never did fiction because that's acting and I'm not an actor. I do narration on nonfiction, and there's a ton of them out there. I wouldn't recommend any of them because they were junk, but I did get paid for them, so that's all that matters. But
he doesn't mean that.
No, I'm saying my side is fine. It's just that the script, a lot of times reads like either a high school term paper or some of them read as if they had taken a collection of articles that were written in another language, washed it through Google Translator, and then, here you go, read it.
Yeah.
And these are, technically it's English, but it doesn't read very well.
Well, you're the voice for somebody else's, quote unquote art. I don't know how you do that. That's like, you'll hear these audiobooks and it's somebody that you're into, and they're like, I wrote a book and there's an audio version of it, and then it's not their voice.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I just wasted $5 on
right.
that.
And that's something that I encourage people, because I know several people now that have written books, and I've talked to them about, by the way, that's a cardinal. because I've got that Merlin app on my phone, so I can identify birds.
Oh, nice.
I know that one now. But they said, should I read it? And I said, yeah, you should. It should be you, because number one, nobody knows your text better than you do.
Yep.
And also, just as you said, a lot of times it can be disappointing to learn that it was somebody else.
Sure. Well, in telling your own story, there's different pitches and tones in how you explain it. Whether it be happy or trauma, or an argument with a friend, and getting it right. I think that's really important, and to have another party come in. I'm not saying that they all suck, but if it's somebody I've followed, I know their voice, I know their mannerisms. It's hard to hear somebody else do it. So.
Right. Well, for somebody, if you're thinking about doing audiobooks, let me explain to you what the process is.
You suck.
You have to
You're never going to make it. Todd's not going to do this crap.
I wasn't going to go that far. But,
sorry. That's not bad. Sorry,
You have to lock yourself into a position to make sure that you are the same distance away from the microphone, because you don't want the volume going up and down. You want to be able to stay right on that. You also need to make sure that you're not speaking directly into the microphone, because otherwise they're called plosives. So it's a P's and things like that. They just fly out, and it like punches really hard with those things.
Oh, yeah.
And then, hello, train. Then you have to pace yourself. I mean, number one, it's about 9,000 words an hour. That's the pace. But then,
how the hell do you keep track of that?
Every time I finish a chapter, I know how many words it was, so I'll do the math just to make sure that I'm not going too fast.
So you're just sitting there counting words, like for the chat.
There's word counters.
Okay.
So you can just copy and paste, and it'll tell you how many words it is. So that part's easy. But also, my own personal limit was 15,000 words a day.
Jesus.
If I went past that, my voice was junk the next day.
Oh, wow.
And there was one time that I had pushed back, I'm the perennial procrastinator, and I said, all right, well, I got about 3 days left. Well, then something happened and I couldn't record that day. And then the following day, we got a big snowstorm, and I have a dozen snow blowers going outside all at the same time. Well, I can't record that day. Went all the way to the last day, and I've got 45,000 words in order to hit the deadline.
Sounds like you work with us.
I did it. I got it done.
Yeah.
What I did was I got up at 6 in the morning. I'd record for 2 hours. I'd stop for 2 hours. I'd record for 2 hours. I'd stop for 2 hours. And I did that for 18 hours. And eventually I got it done. Then I didn't talk for a week.
Nice.
I was done. I couldn't. I could not work after that because the voice was just shot.
That's terrifying, too. Because when we met, I barely had a voice. I had gotten sick, and it was gone for, gosh, I think Tanner can vouch for it, like a month. Like 3 weeks or a month or something, man. I could not get it back. And it was like, I'll just shut up for a week. I can't shut up for a week. Yeah, I wasn't getting it back, and finally it slowly got back, and but I can't imagine my career revolving around that, because I would have been screwed.
Yeah. Years ago, I was working at a radio station over in Central Iowa. I got a basketball doubleheader that I'm broadcasting. High school girls followed by the high school boys. At this particular station, we had to read all of the ads live. So I was not stopping from 6:30 at night until 9:45. Well, about halfway through the first quarter of the girls' game, I felt a stabbing pain go through the side of my throat.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
And sorry. It hurt the rest of the time, but I was okay. I was still able to do it.
Yeah.
The next morning, zip, nothing.
No shit.
Gone for 2 weeks. I thought it was gone for good.
Something, or...
I thought it was gone for good.
Do you have to go to like when you get sick? Do you have like a specialist you go to just because your voice is?
No, I don't have a specialist.
Yeah.
I've learned that if I start to get the sniffles or anything, like if I start to feel anything, I'll overload on some vitamin C and zinc and those kind of things, and it usually knocks it out.
Yeah, same here.
And also, I have to hydrate. I mean, my voice does not I don't wake up sounding like I sound right now.
Yeah.
And even now, it's a little raspy.
Yeah, when we woke up this morning, you were real squeaky.
Yeah. Oh, I got nowhere to go with that.
Yeah, we didn't wake up together this morning. I left early.
Yep.
Some of us have things to do in the morning, Todd.
That's why we had to do this on a Saturday night.
Look that up, Tanner.
This couldn't be during work hours.
Yeah. No,
people would be getting fired watching this thing.
Yeah, but us, and we're self-employed.
That's a good point too.
My wife's HR though, like in real life, and then this world as well. Oh yeah, if somebody doesn't pay their bill, she's the bulldog that goes after them. And I know, like anybody watching that knows her is calling bullshit, and it's like, I'll show you the emails.
Yeah.
When you're net 30 and you get into 31 days, that's who you're listening to. Good luck.
No, your wife has never been anything but kind to me.
Yes. Nobody would believe me in a million years.
But I will say this, that there's something under the surface there that I'm like, I can sense that there's something there.
She's a bulldog.
You cross this woman,
yeah,
and
dude,
you're gonna catch it.
She's a bulldog, and it's coming to our life in any way, shape, or form, man. There's a background check, and she's making phone calls, and we'll know a lot about you real quick.
So you're saying I passed? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I didn't.
I'm getting a whole lot better at hiding.
It's whenever she gets a bad vibe, she'll go just full on crazy with background channel. Like, I knew I didn't like them, and here's why. It's like, all right, well, that's a little nuts.
Well, it'll be interesting to get some kind of feedback about this kind of thing, and if the concept, I have never seen.
I haven't either. I thought it was a great idea.
I've never seen, and I'm not just talking about sitting next to a fire, but as far as going live, with it, and I'm going to drag the video out of it and do a production on it and put that out later. But for the recording part of it going live, and we've got different locations that we've talked about doing.
Yes, some really cool ones.
Yeah, we've talked.
The Dewdrop Inn.
The Dewdrop in McClellan.
Yep.
Talked to the good folks, the Schneckloss over at the Acres, about doing it there.
That's a cool venue.
Yeah.
It's and great people.
Oh God, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, just phenomenal people.
Yep.
And possibly doing it with a live audience.
Yeah.
I think that we could. I know I'm full of ideas. Whether they actually happen or not, I don't know.
Sure.
But, it's a chance to, have a musician on and maybe get him to play a little bit.
Yeah, Brian, my old roommate, Brian.
Yeah, that could work.
was one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
The most annoying person to live with ever. He just follow you around singing about your day.
I think he's singing tonight.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't doubt it. He's doing really good. He's he has been for years, but it's always good to see him pop up, on certain things. You're like, that's my boy.
Yeah, and I had him on my other podcast, the Success in Iowa podcast. He came on.
I listened to that one.
Yeah, and his wife Tana was there, and which Tana's she's great.
I've never met her. I've only heard good things.
Yeah,
I just met a guy the other night that knew him and his buddy Carl, and he was like a freelance bass player or something, or guitar player. And he's like, so any local bands? Oh yeah, a buddy of mine, Brian. And I know Brian. I'm like, everyone knows Brian, dude. It's
my story about Tana is we were out at the Mile Away and he was playing, and I was getting ready to head out and saying goodbye, and I gave her a quick hug, and I let go, and she said, "We're not done yet," and she just kept hugging me. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
So
yeah, good people, man.
And that's the point, is to highlight the people.
Sure.
And there's a reason why I stuck around. There's a reason why I'm doing what I have to do in order to stay within the boundaries of that non-compete.
Yep.
Or actually the reverse. I got to stay outside the boundaries.
Yep.
And there's a reason that I'm doing that, because I want to be here. I can do what I do from anywhere.
Yep.
But
the cool thing too is you have a cult following here with all these business owners, big, small, everywhere in between, and it's kind of forced you out of that. So now you have the opportunity to go to, Topeka, Des Moines, and these outside towns that might
Right.
not know, and you can expand it even more,
Well,
and kind of provide them with that service too, because there's not a lot of voices for us. I mean, it's social media,
right.
and then okay, well, I'll sponsor an ad. Well, it's like out of 3,000, there's probably 2,900 that were just robots clicking like or
Right.
follow or whatever that is. But to have a true ambassador out and pushing it, and the YouTube, the Facebook Live, and then just anywhere out in public. How many people I've ran into and they're like, "Oh yeah, Todd was telling me about you." And it's just like, that's my boy. That's my boy.
Well, I've got a good friend of mine that has a rum distillery here in town, Doreen. And
yeah, you did tell me about her.
Yeah, and I told her, I said, I said, I could sell your product anywhere because it's so good. So anytime that I'm someplace, I'm looking, if I'm at a restaurant that has a bar and they've got the wall of different things and the bottles in the back, I'm looking to see whether or not they've got modern matriarch rum back there. And if they don't, I'll say, there's a rum distillery right here in town.
Yeah, isn't there a vodka one too?
Is there?
I think so. I think I just had it last night. Can't remember. But it was like 360 or something like that. And I was like, is this local? And the girl went, I think so. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Lucky, that's a beer, isn't it? Oh, do they? Yeah, and a couple cool vineyards. But yeah, I had no idea about rum until.
Yeah, and hers is really good.
We had talked.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my point is that I've met these people, and there's a mutual respect, I feel, and the reason that I know that exists is because, when the radio station thing ended, I kind of went underground for a while.
Yep.
And was just kind of hiding out and really didn't understand what I could do or what I couldn't do. I hadn't spoken to any lawyers yet and that kind of stuff. And once that Federal Trade Commission ruling came out about banning the non-competes, which, by the way, they're still active.
Yeah. But it's such a crock of shit of going. My argument with that is this is how you make whether you're in sales, you're in radio, you're a welder, it could be anything, but to cut somebody's livelihood off, they built a career around this, and you just get to sign this piece of paper and take it away.
Yeah.
What the hell did you do? So yeah, I've never agreed with those. I signed one myself when I got out of sales, and I was gonna take a year off, let my body heal, and then just ended up getting back into welding. I never should have left, but we all got to learn, man.
Yeah,
I hate that, especially for you and what you do. It's just you're doing a huge disservice to the community, essentially. For an ambassador like yourself. But yeah, they got this weird privilege of just fuck you for a year.
Yeah. Well, and I don't agree with how they do things. I just don't. And look, I'm not here to rip them to shreds. And that's, look, this area needs a radio station.
Yeah.
Needs a radio station. So do it right. Just do it right.
Yeah.
And, support the community that you're in.
Yep.
It's
big.
But when that ruling came out and, I saw the articles come out, my phone blew up.
Oh yeah.
All of these different people that I hadn't heard from for 5 months. Suddenly, hey, Todd, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this?
Yeah.
They all knew what was going on. Now, best case scenario, they go away the 4th of September. More likely that there's going to be a hold put on it, and it's not going to...
well, you're already in the home stretch.
Yeah, we're past the 6 months. I just got to get to December 18th.
Yeah.
And look, I can do that.
Yeah.
And
keep doing this and stacking them and just making it what you want it to be.
Yeah. And there's a reason why we're not taking breaks and hearing from our sponsors, because we're not sponsored. So this is not a violation.
Oh, we lost Tanner.
Yeah, we lost our producer. I think there's a bathroom up top.
Tanner's taking a crap right now.
Yeah. Didn't even take his phone with him. That's how big of
Oh, geez, yeah.
He left his phone here.
I wonder if he has his headphones in. You might be listening to us.
Yeah, how far do those things work? Those Bluetooth headphones?
Yeah, I think those are the AirPods or whatever. I can like go check my mail and stuff with my phone inside, and they still work through like a couple walls. But yeah, they're pretty good.
But jumping back to what I was talking about, I'm incredibly grateful that the community didn't forget.
Yeah.
And
well, that does.
Also trust me. They know that I'm not gone.
Yep.
And they know a lot of folks know some of my tentative plans, and I've got some of them are kind of robust. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off or not, but shoot, I'm going to give it a try.
Not with that headset.
This is. I'm sure you remember this, or maybe you don't. I don't know. It wasn't very long after that separation happened last December, and I didn't think I was feeling sorry for myself, but I think I probably was, and you sensed it. And it was, and you just said, "What are you talking about? You are Todd effing Studer."
Yeah, suck it up, sis.
Yeah,
we got work to do.
And I was like, "All right, man, that's cool." That's. If you don't have somebody in your life like that, you need somebody in your life.
Oh yeah,
because
if you look at who I surround myself with, Chris, my partner at the shop, even my wife, my sister. Gosh, my sister Taylor, I think she's told me to suck her dick more than it's ever been said by anybody ever. So like you'll never get ego with those people around you, and feel a little bit sorry for yourself, and they'll come at you like a bulldog, but it's like, fuck, I did need to hear that, and Tanner's great at it too, and but I have such a unique team around me that if you can surround yourself, you can find a group like the one I have. It takes a lifetime to build, but if you can just find one, you're extremely lucky, and I'm very fortunate to have all these knuckleheads in my life. So,
so am I. Well, grateful for you, sir.
Yeah,
very much.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for coming out, sitting next to the fire here.
Yeah.
And
it was a real chore.
Yeah.
Fuck, this sucked.
That's the idea. Yeah. I wanted to be relaxing, and I wanted to just be conversational.
Yeah, and I think this is where it's at. And you can't duplicate this in a studio or in a house or.
Yeah, I know. Netflix they have the channel where it's just a fire on your TV.
Oh, dude, we're just in Speedos. I know it looks snowy out there. We're just hot as shit in here.
Oh man, but we're gonna hopefully keep doing these.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Just see where it goes. It's
it's a lot of fun too, and I like that there's
I've told pretty much every single podcast client that I've ever had when they get started. And as we're going through the process of getting them going, I said, look, you just got to be willing to suck for a while.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. Well, even if you did amazing, some people are still going to tell you sucked.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Don't stress about that.
If you're not getting negativity, chances are you're not doing that well.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
If you don't have at least a handful of haters, man, it's you're not on the right map, I suppose.
All right. Until next time. This is why we have a producer. He can hit the stop button.
Yeah.
But we will see you hopefully in a week. But I can't guarantee that. So we're still just limping along.
I'm gonna hack the system. I'll be back in a week. You can sign into my page. All
right. Take care.